That's fine, okay? But I will go through it and record it too, so you can always watch this back too, okay? Great. So we're live now, and we're going to do the review. Okay, let's start. So tell me, Chad, what is network?
Wi-Fi.
No. What is a network? What's the definition of network?
Connecting to the internet.
No, you do not need to have internet. You can actually connect to computers. The most simple network is called peer-to-peer. Do you know how we make that 线? This most simple network is just two computers connected. It could be Wi-Fi, but it could also be the 线.
Oh, network.
So what is the definition of a network? It's not connected to the internet, because are these computers connected to the internet right now? No, they connected to each other. So what is the idea of network? What is network?
Connect to each other.
Yes. Network, the definition is when two or more devices, devices are connected together. It doesn't mean necessarily with the internet, but we usually connect to the internet as well. Two or more devices
connected together
are connected. Together. Okay. Now, peer-to-peer network. What does peer-to-peer network mean? What does peer-to-peer network mean? Do you remember peer-to-peer? What is peer-to-peer network?
One-to-one.
Yeah. Peer-to-peer means there is no router. There's no hub in the 中间. It's just the 线, okay? It's the most simple network that you can have, okay? That's the most 简单, it's the most basic. And basically you just send the data back and forth. Now, how do we connect computers? How can you connect? You can connect through the Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi is called what? Either we can use cable, 对不对? We can use wires. We can use the 线, right? We made the 线in class, right? We have Ethernet 线. How else can you connect two computers together? Can I connect two computers not using the 线? Not using wire? You can use Wi-Fi, 对不对? You could have Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. So that's the other idea. So we can use radio waves. Radio waves. Radio waves is like the Wi-Fi. Okay? You can use Wi-Fi to connect. How else can you connect? Through radio waves, we have other type of wave as well. We can also have the satellite. Okay? You can actually connect with the cell phone, right? We have cell phone. Cell phone frequencies is like the microwaves. Okay? Satellite. We have microwaves. And that's all wireless as well, like the cell phone network. Okay? You can use satellites and things like that. Okay? Now, in preparing for our test, we need to know about networks. It's all about networks. The test is also going to be talking about the typologies. The third topic we have, we have different mediums. We already talked about that. Hardware for network, and the other one is routers. router IPs. And the fifth thing we're going to talk about is the coding about 1D and 2D array. These are all the topics on the culture. Okay? So we'll just do a summary on here and then we should be good to go. So we already know what networks are. Agree or disagree? Okay? What is a network there, Chad?
Network when two or more devices are connected together.
And the most simple network you can have is called what?
Peer-to-peer.
Very good. Now we're going to go into the more complex ones. They have the different picture. Agree? So let's just go down here. And now we can have this thing called, we can have different type of networks. Let's say you have more than one computer. We call these typologies, okay? Let's say I connect multiple computers together on a line here. So we have typologies. Typologies are different ways that computers are connected. What is the name of this typology? We have this one. We have this guy. We have a whole bunch of different guys like this. We have this guy like this. Do you know the name for all these?
No. Switch.
No. We do have a switch, but these are how the devices are connected. So what is the name of, if I have computers and they all go on a single line right here? They have a single line. What is the name of this typology?
Router.
Not a router. This is called the bus. The bus network. And what a bus network, it has no router. The funny thing about the bus router is it's a dumb network. All the data, if I want to talk, if PC1 wants to talk to PC2, he sends the data to everyone. Okay? Because he doesn't know who is on the network. And so all the data is sent on the bus line. Okay? So this is just the very 简单 type of network. It's cheap, but the bad thing is it's not very safe because you send all the data to everyone. What is the data called on a network? If I send data on the Xian, what do we call that data? Do you know what it's called? If I put the Ardinger, if I put the binary on the data line, 这个叫什么? We had to 放在 like a 盒子 and then 送给人. What do we call that on a network? Do you know? Starts with a P. Data on a network 叫什么? It's called packets. You know when you buy something on Taobao,
Yeah.
they give you a 盒子.
Yes.
And so all data on a network is sent through packets. So 这个单词你需要 know what it means. It just means that
I know.
it's a group of data. So we have to 翻开 the data and cut it into packets, and then the data can take different routes and then later gets repacked. Okay? What is the name of this guy? This typology is called what?
Bus network.
It is like a bus network, correct. But he looks like what shape? He called a ring. Circle or ring network. Okay? He's called ring. Okay. This also is the same idea. He just send the data to everyone. What is the name of this network here?
How do you say the 正方形 English?
This is called mesh.
Mesh network.
Mesh. It's like a spider web. Okay, this means that all nodes, these guys are called nodes. Okay, that's the other name for a device on a network. They're all connected together with the xian or the Wi-Fi, whatever. So that's called the mesh network. And then this guy, what is this guy called? Where in here, either at the Zhongyinjian, you have a switch.
Spider.
Not a spider, switch/hub. What is this guy called? Or a router. Router.
Servers.
Not a server. This guy's called, he's the most used network. What does he look like? 什么 shape?
Like a square.
At nighttime, I go outside, and then what is in the sky at nighttime? You have the moon and?
Moon and a star.
This is called a?
Star.
A star. Why do we call it a star network, Ched? It's because, does that look like a star, kind of? It looks like a xinqing? Because everything is going to the zhongjian. Okay? What is the zhongjian of a star typology? Yes. Yes, of course. What is at the zhongjian of all star? There's two things. 你可以放两个东西.
Switch and a router.
Yes. You can either have a switch or a router. Okay? Is there any other typologies? Look in your notes. 有没有别的 typology?
不太好找。Difficult to find it.
第一节课我忘了。
Oh.
Yeah, we have it. So we have mesh, star, this is hybrid. Okay. Yeah,我们学过。Okay? 没问题? So, right here, we finished the typologies. Agree?
Agree.
Now, let's go into the hardware. What does the hardware mean?
Hardware, 硬件.
Yeah, 硬件. So we need to know all the 硬件. For example, what is this name of this guy right here?
Switch.
Yes, this is the switch.
Switch, network line.
Yeah. So let's draw some pictures of networking hardware. Let's go down here. Okay, so part 3. Network. Oh, let's just briefly talk about the LAN and WAN. Forgot. If you connect a whole bunch of networks together, 你可以放在一起, right? This is called hybrid. Now, what is the difference between LAN and WAN?
Oh.
What is the difference between?
LAN is a local area network. WAN is a wildlife area network.
Yeah.
Local area network is used for the local area, like in the school.
Yeah.
In the school or some local states. But wildlife WAN is used for
like in the city, like towns.
City, town.
This could be a school.
Or a village.
Or a village, yeah. So local means it's more like at a home, and WAN is more large. And that goes into, if I have a whole bunch of networks connected, we basically get the internet. Now, the internet and www, or World Wide Web, is 不一样, okay? Internet is talk about the hardware. So the internet is a whole bunch of WANs connected together, okay? That is the interconnected network, okay? So when we're talking about internet, we're talking about the routers, about the servers. Because on the internet, all the a PC that holds the website is called what? On the internet. 很大的电脑 we call a web
server.
Yes. So on the internet, we have this thing called web server. Okay? And what a web server does is he holds.
So what are you doing there? The WA and some things connect together. What's
This is the internet. 很多的WAN, 很多的 network. So 举个例子, I have a stars, bus, I have a whole bunch of different networks or WANs, and they're connected together. Like Nanjing have many different hubs of networks.
Yes.
And this is all what the internet is. The internet is interconnected network of WANs. Okay? And in those network, we have computers called servers. And what a server holds are web pages. What else does server do? He also can have storage, online storage. He can also have apps. And people who connect to the internet, people who connect to the servers are called clients. Okay? Okay? Now, there's two type of clients. There's thick and thin. Okay? Can you look back in your notes? Do you remember we talked about clients? That'll be the next day. We read about, we have Harvard topic. Right here. Oh. But we didn't write it down. So, a thick client, the server does the work. Okay? This is like a very cheap computer, like a Chromebook. Then we have a thin client. Thin client, sorry, I think it's the other way around. I'll have to double check. Let's go back. Okay? We have, in here, we have thin and thick. Let's go back into networking right here. Okay? So, one is about the Chromebook. So we talk about LAN, WAN, benefit of networking. Oh, okay, right here. So, clients are the devices that connect to the servers, DVD. Now, there are two types of clients. Okay, we have thin and thick. So, let me have a look. We have peer-to-peer. Yeah. Okay. Right here. Okay. So, thin client, they need more server processing. So I was right there. Thick clients, they don't need as much. They do it locally. Okay, so let's go back to our test review. Okay, so what is the difference between thin and thick type servers? The thick clients computers are more powerful, okay? So they use less server power. Okay? They're more local apps. Okay? But you can buy computers these days that have a really small hard drive. Okay? And that's called a thin client. Like, for example, a laptop. A normal laptop, just wait. I think I need to go back. I keep on getting these things messed up. Let me just make it clear. A thin client relies on the server for processing. So that's going to go back here. My brain's not working today. Okay? So in here, a thin uses more server power. Okay? It uses the cloud more or less for the computing. And for example, an example of this is called a Chromebook. Chromebook are very cheap computers. They don't really have very much hard drives and things like that. But they need to have more server power. So if you have a good laptop, you can run the apps locally. Okay, so that's basically thin and thick. This is something, I'm going to put a star. You should know the difference between those type of clients. What is a client? Client, 这个单词, what does it mean? If you're a client.
PC.
A client is a computer or device that connect to the server. Okay? We call a client is a computer or a phone that connects to a server.
Okay.
Yeah. And what is the difference between thick and thin client there, Chet?
Thick clients use less server power, but the thin clients use more server power.
Yeah. So if it's Hanxi, it means he's not very strong, so he needs Bongzhu, right? If it's Hanho, thick, means he's strong. Yeah. So he doesn't need to have the server power. Okay. Now the topic that we're on now is, I believe, the hardware. Okay. So let's talk about the topic number 3 is networking hardware. Okay. Can you tell me any networking hardware? Tell me one network hardware device. Tell me some hardware device. What does he look like? What is this called? If I have
Switch.
Yeah, if I have a device that has many ports,
Switch.
this is called a switch. And a switch is used for a computer lab. Okay? He can also give IP address. Okay? Number 2, if I have a small guy, he usually has the antennas, and he does have some ports at the back. We have a WAN port and a LAN port. What is this called? What is this guy's name?
Router.
Yes, this guy's called a router. And the router's job is he gives IP address. He also stores the MAC address. He can control the flow. Okay, he routes the packets. Packets route. He also can act as a firewall. What else can router do? Routers can they connect to the internet, connect to the ISP, Internet Service Provider modem. Okay, so it's like an access port, like access port for the internet. Okay, basically if you want to connect multiple computers together, you need a router, and he can change the IP address. So he's an important guy. We'll talk a little bit more about him in the future. Okay? Good. Tell me some other type of hardware.
Servers.
Yeah, we have server. So servers are basically big computers.
Made up of a huge computer.
Yeah. Servers, basically he has lots of hard drives and he's used to store data and process information. And they're usually in big buildings and they just take care of all the data online.
Sir, I heard some parts of like the game operating.
On the server.
Yeah, how quickly about a game's operating depends on how strong is his router.
不是 router, sure, the server. Yes.
It depends on how strong.
Correct. And sometimes your server is different country. And so if your game server is Steam and you're running to American game, it's going to take longer time to load and things like that.
Yes.
So they have Chinese servers, they have other servers. Every country has their servers as well. Okay? So servers are like bigger computers used for processing, storing information. But they're basically computers. Okay. Tell me other hardware device.
Hardware networking line.
Okay, yeah. We have Ethernet, cables. You know, it had the twisted pair. It had the twisted wires and it has a little toe, right? We have the Ethernet cables. We can go into how data is transmitted. Now, when I send packets on a line, do all my data get to the end? How can I check to see if the data arrive? Do we have any 想法 how to make sure the data go to the end? 你记得吗? Like, I want to treat in that I send 10110, 对不对? I want to treat in that this is the send, TX, and this is the receive. How can I verify that the data arrive? Do you know any 想法 to treating that the data come to the end? This is one of the topics. We can do some data checks. 我们可以确定一下. One is called the parity bit. Okay? So what we can do is, let's say I'm sending on an Ethernet cable 10110. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add one more piece of data usually at the front or end. This is called the parity bit. And we have two 想法. One is called even and one is called odd parity bit. What does even mean? What are even numbers?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Odd is 1, 3, 5. You divide by 2 is not, right? Even number are 2, 4, 6. 等等. So on this, you have to read the question. Usually, 平常是 even or odd, even. If it's even, what we have to do is count the amount of number of ones in the data. How many ones we have? We have 1, 2, 3. The total number of data ones is 3. Agree? Yes. Is this an even number or odd? Number 3, is this even or odd? 3. The number 3. Is it even or odd?
Odd.
It's an odd number. And so if the question says the parity bit is even, I need to 放个一个0还是1. I need to put a 1 or 0 here to make the total number of ones even or odd. So if it's even, is 3 even? Is 3
No,
even?
no, no.
No. Therefore, 我需要加一个 e. And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 4 even number?
Yes.
Yes. Okay? And so when you're sending data on an Ethernet cable, we talk about this, there's sometimes data corruption. And there's this thing called the data check bit. It's called the parity bit. And that just makes sure that the data come okay. If there was a change, let's say 我们丢了一个 bit. If we change one of the bits, this was a 0, and I did the parity bit check, I'm expecting to get a 1, but I get a 0. I would know that 我们丢了一个 number. Okay? And so this is a 想法 that is used, and it's going to be on the test as well. You have to be able to calculate the parity bit. Okay? So let's do one more example just to make sure we're okay. Okay? I'm going to give you some data. Determine the parity bit. Let's do an example. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. I want you to figure out what number to put here if for odd parity. Okay, Ched? Tell me if this should be a 1 or a 0 in the parity bit. For odd parity. You need to make sure it's odd number.
Oh, 1.
It should be a 1? Okay, let's check. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 5, right?
Oh.
If I need an odd parity, 5 is already that, so it should be a 0. Because 5 is already odd number. Okay, so let's try another example. Okay, I'm going to go 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. I want you to determine the odd pair, this, but I want to, if it's even parity.
Even parity. So it's 0, I think.
Yes, yes, you're correct. It should be 0 because I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is already even. So you always have to check the question. He says, odd parity, you must make sure that there's odd number of ones. If not, you add a 1 to make it odd. Even parity, it's the same idea. You want to make sure that you have an even number. If I already have an even number, you put a 0. If not, you add a 1. Okay? So I'm going to put a star. Make sure that you understand about the even odd parity. Okay. Let's continue on with a couple more hardwares, and then we'll talk about the checksum and stuff like that. So, do we have any other hardwares? We have the switch.
So let me have a look at the example. Yeah, okay.
We have switch, router, servers. Oh, I think we have a modem. What is a modem? What is a modem / ISP? Do you know what a modem is?
What's it?
Yes, it's a little box in your, usually right beside your router, you have a little modem. You put the digital data and outcome, a modem, it modulates the wave, and usually your internet service provider gives you a modem. What is a modem? Do you know what modem is?
No.
A modem is the, you know the China Mobile, you know the 公司, the internet 公司, they give you a modem, and its job is to convert the data into a wave. And so you can connect really far away. Okay? So a modem, it's given from the internet company. I'm just
used for the phones.
No, it's used for your internet. So your ISP is your internet company. You give them money every month or what have you, right? They give you a modem. What does the modem do? The modem allows you to send data as waves on the internet. Because if you want to send data really far, modulating can reduce the power by 50%. You can save energy. And so it's usually modems, you go on, from the modem, it goes into a server and it converts from digital. It converts the digital DC to alternating current, basically like that, okay? So basically, how the internet works is you have your PC. Your PC connects to what? A router, okay?
Yeah.
The router gives you the IP digit, right? And from the router, you have a modem. It converts your data into a signal. This is the internet service provider. And then right here, we have the internet. And the internet has a digital server provider. It has a DSP. But we're going to study that in the future. But this is the idea about the hardware. You have a wire or Wi-Fi. The router can also give Wi-Fi. And the job of a router is to regulate the IP address. What is the IP address?
Router provide for you.
Yeah, what is he? What does this number do? For example, 192.168.2.1. What is the IP digit?
Used for let another devices for connect.
Yeah, it's like your home address, right?
Yeah.
To send data, you all have to have an IP digit. Can your IP digit change?
No. Oh, yes.
Yes, because what happens is the router has the dynamic host control protocol, DHCP. And his job is to assign the IP digit. And if this, in a network, you can only have one IP digit that is the same. And so after some time, when he connects, he'll give you a new one if you enable this. So the router, one of the jobs is it can enable to give people IP digit. You can also 关掉. You can also shut down the IP digit, and then he will not assign that. But usually we went into the router in class, do you remember? And we want to enable it, and so he can 送给别人的 IP digit. Okay? There's two different types of IP address. What is the difference between IPv4 and IPv5? Do you remember? We have IPv4 versus IPv6. We have 两个 IP digit. What is the difference? Do you remember? Oh, do you remember about the why we have two?
IPv6 is better than IPv4.
Yes, this is new.
Yeah.
This is old. Now, the difference between this is this uses from 0 to 255. It uses a range of 1, 2, like for example, it has these numbers here. This IPv4 uses 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 groups with the dian from numbers 0 to 255. And each of these groups is bagabit. So that's 8. What is 8 times 4?
32.
So it has 32 bits. Okay? And we're running out of space. And so we have a别的IP. IP6 is new. And it can have some hexadecimal, AB24, and then it uses the colon. Maybe we have a double colon, and then A, F, 3, 0, done. 6, 4, C, F. So tell me what is 不一样的 between this? It's 长一点. It's longer. How many bits is this?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Or how many? In each one we have four groups of what?
4 groups of
A total, I think it was 8 of 8. How
8.
now if you have 2个点点, this is the same as 0 0 0 0. Okay? This is more. 有多的. It's 长一点. Okay? How many bits does it have? Can you look in your notes? The IPv4 has 32 bits. I think I forgot 128.
IPv6 is 128 bits.
Yeah. So the key difference is this one, it uses 128 bits for it, and it uses hex. It uses hexadecimal numbers. Okay? So hex, if you have 2 colon, 2个点, this means it's just empty. It means 0 0 0 0. It's 4 zeros there. Okay? So you need to know a little bit about the IPv4 and what he do. Cool? Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about is, so we did the IPv4. Okay. The last thing was the 1D and 2D array, about the coding. And that's the last part of the test. Okay. Coding. You know, every Monday we do some coding, right? So the last part of the paper is coding. We're at 1D and 2D array. Do you know what arrays are?
What?
Do you remember what arrays are? You know, we make a game. So, coding arrays. What array looks like? An array. It uses, in Python, it uses the 中括号, right? And I can put A, B, C. These are items in a list. In Python, we call this a list. It's like a list of items. And the very first element is 0, 1, 2. Right? And if I want to print out B, how do I print out B? This is called a 1D array. If I want to print B, how would I do that? What do I have to put into the bracket?
Print 1.
但是 you have to print the variable's name, array,
Array 1.
and then in there we have the 中括号, right? The square bracket.
1.
And you have to put the index number 1. This is going to print that element in. So you know how to print an item in there. You have to use the bracket. And these numbers here are called index numbers. Index numbers. Now, index numbers start at 0 in Python. 但是 in the pseudocode, they start at 1. Okay? Now, let's say I want to change B to F. How can I do that? I want to guide the The second item in the array. What is the location? We know the location is 1. Agree? So if I want to change, what I do is write down the 名字 of the array. Write down 它的名字. And then here, show the location. The location is 1. And then how do I guide? I want to change him to F. So what do I have to make him equal to?
Equal.
I want to change B to F. So what should I say? What do I need to write?
What?
You're going to put F or whatever you want him. What this does is this is assigning. It's saying, hey, this location at 1, I want to change him to F. And so this is how you can print, and this is how you can change. Okay? Now, on the exam, this is called Python. This is called Python. 对不对? This is used in the 电脑. 但是 on the 考试, do we use Python? What language do we use in on the exam? Do you know what it's called? Search.
Pseudocode.
Now, pseudocode is 有点不一样. So how do I make an array with ABC? Well, you have to go like this. Declare. And then you put the array's name. For example, ARR. You can 随便写一个名字 for your array that represents what he is. Then you need to put the colon. Then you need to write array. Then you need to put the size of the array. In here, the size of the array, for example, we start not at ling, but at e. So you say 1, and then how many elements you have is 3. That means this is, that means that it's 3 items. And you must also, the difference is of, you have to tell me the type of array. What type of data is this? Data we can have int, string, float, or boolean. Do you know what is the integer? Int 是什么东西? Int is numbers.
No.
Is this numbers?
No.
No, so we know it's not an integer. What is string? Do you know what a string is? String, sure, anything with the colon is like words. A, B, C, D is like a string, right? Float is a decimal number. For example, 3, let me just erase this.
Float is what?
Float is decimal.
Okay.
有那个点 3.2. If you have a 点, it's a float. Boolean is something is true or false.
Okay.
We have 还有一个不一样的 type. We also have this thing called char. Char is the character. It's like A, B, C, D. Okay, so Chad, what type of data is in this list? What type of data is in this list?
Well, which
Is it this list, A, B, C, D? Is it a character, integer, string, float, 还是 bool?
strings?
It looks like string because it has the 双引号. 但是 if it has 一个东西, we call it a char. Okay? So you just go right here, char. So in pseudocode is 有点不一样. It's you have to 写多一点. In this one, you just write ARR, and then you have the 中括号. In this one, you have to write declare. You write the name, maha, array, the size of your list, and then you have to say the type. Okay? And then how do I assign it? It's the same thing. You just go ARR, and then 中括号, and if I want to change B, it 刚刚开始 it starts at 123, so it's going to be 2 because it starts at 1不是0. And then what you can do is you do 放进去 F. So the 想法 is 一模一样. That's why we don't use the equal sign, you see? And then we have to change the index number. It's 有点不一样. Okay, so I'm going to put a start here. Make sure you know about the ED array. Cool? Do you know the RD array? Okay, I'll give you just one question and then we're done, okay? So for 2D array, 2D, we array. Let's say I have my array here, yeah? And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, in this, these are called what? 叫什么? Hun in English. 叫什么? They're called rows. This is row ling in Python, okay?
Yeah.
This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. Now, what are these guys called here? Do you know his name? They're called columns. Okay? And this is going to be column 0, 1, 2 in Python. Right? And so if I want to print, you're going to go dying, print, and then you put the array's name. 但是 in here, do I have 一个东西? No, we have 两个东西. 为什么? Because the very first thing is called the row number. The other one is called the column number. If I want to print 5, what numbers must I put here and here? What row, what column?
Row 1. Column 1.
Yes. Okay. That's it. Cool. So that's it for our review. Okay. All the best for the test. Just make sure that you do review ER34 about your notebook.
So many messages.
And then about the programming, and then you should be okay.
Okay, so many messages.
Okay. Let me. Stop streaming.